Today on the Topping Show, Dylan Mulvaney is ghosted at his Penn State paid speaking event with only a handful of people actually showing up to the event. Bill Burr roasts Jimmy Kimmel for making Trump a martyr. Vivek on January 6th goes viral. McDonald's wants to open up nearly 9,000 additional stores by 2027. XPO in line to acquire about 28 yellow trucking properties. McDonald's first Cosmix spin-off restaurant opened last week. And Starbucks has lost about $12 billion in stock valuation since the union had sided with Palestine in the Israel-Palestine-Hamas conflict that is in the news. All of that much more on The Topping Show. Thank you everyone for taking the time to tune in today. Today's episode of Topping Show is sponsored by Topping Technologies. Topping Technologies is an IT value-added reseller and services company with a special proficiency in IT security. Heck, I see their founder at least twice a day. Gotta say he's quite handsome and brilliant. He's me, you see, that's a joke. If you're an IT leader or business owner, you can reach the team at sales@toppingtechnologies.com. Also, we're trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of December, so if you click that button, I'd greatly appreciate it. Now, going over to the business part of the podcast, you have McDonald's wanting to open up nearly 9,000 additional restaurants by 2027. Now, this comes to us thanks to CNBC, specifically the reporter by the name of Lamaya Lucas. And in addition to wanting to open up, astonishingly enough, an additional 9,000 stores, they also want to increase their loyalty membership program by 100 million additional members. Now, they also say that McDonald's expects to hike its capital spending through 2027 as it accelerates its new restaurant openings as part of its strategy to grow more on a global scale and ramp up their sales. Specifically, it looks like they want to open up more than 8,800 locations, add 100,000 members to its loyalty program. The targets are part of the fast food giant's long-term plans to grow sales across its already sprawling restaurant footprint, which, going down more into the substance, it looks like McDonald's big development plan will mean higher capital spending. For 2024, the company anticipates $2.5 billion in capital expenditures, up from its expectation of $2.2 billion to $2.4 billion in 2023. And for every year from 2025 to 2027, McDonald's expects to increase its capital expenditures by $300 million to $500 million sequentially. By 2027, McDonald's wants to have a global footprint of 50,000 locations. The chain has 41,198 restaurants currently worldwide as of September 30th. Now, by comparison, Starbucks in November said it aims to reach 55,000 cafes worldwide by 2030, up from its current count of 38,000 Starbucks locations, which is kind of hilarious because anecdotally speaking, everyone makes all the jokes about having so many Starbucks out there. There used to be some joke, I forget the actual punchline, but something to the effect of they thought there was more Starbucks than grains of sand in the desert, or something to that effect. And when in fact it looks like McDonald's actually has much more locations than Starbucks. Now, in terms of the breakdown of where they want to open up these locations, they know that to reach its development goal, McDonald's plans to open 900 U.S. locations and 1,900 restaurants in the international operating markets segmentally, and roughly 7,000 units in its international development licensed marketing divisions. The company's IOM business includes markets like France, Canada, and Australia, and accounts for nearly 50% of the company's revenue. McDonald's IDL segment includes China, which will account for more than half of the division's new locations. In late November, McDonald's announced it had bought back a minority stake in its China business, which currently has a footprint of more than 5,500 locations. When asked for comment, McDonald's CEO Chris Kempczinski says, quote, "There's no reason why China can't be 20,000 to 25,000 stores or restaurants. It could be the largest market around the world for us," unquote. Which, given the population density in the country, yeah, it sounds about right. I wouldn't be surprised if they surpass that in the near future. Although, given the growth rates, I'm surprised they're not putting more of a focus on India. I'm not sure about their dietary preferences, but that is another one of the largest markets with over 1 billion prospective clients. So that very well might be part of their long-term growth plan as well. Now, they also know that McDonald's wants to reach 250 million active members for its loyalty program by 2027. At its last investor day in 2020, the company was still testing the loyalty program in the U.S., but since then it has grown to be a juggernaut, boosting mobile sales and encouraging customers to return more frequently. Which, in terms of harvesting data and building out a customer customer preference list and customer portfolio, it has been massively successful. I remember a couple years ago, there was a huge marketing campaign that they had where they literally give you a free little serving of fries if you just sign up for the McDonald's app. As every company wants to be an IT company and data is king, at one point, data is actually worth more than oil and gold, as crazy as that sounds. So it makes sense for them to want to continue to encourage customers to do that. It also gives you greater insight into what your customers are buying. And the more data you have, the more accurate you can predict, well, a myriad of things, including your recurring revenue, but also preferences of purchases. It'll help you even better know, well, what kind of things do you need to order for the stores? What kind of items do you need to buy in more bulk? Where do you need to go negotiate more? Because you're going to need a vast amount of quantity of A, Y, Z, whatever we want to call them, ingredients. So there's a myriad of benefits. And when additionally talking about technology, they also said, quote, "We're excited to see how McDonald's will use our," oh, this is actually, McDonald's also announced their partnership with Alphabet's Google Cloud, using its artificial intelligence across its restaurants to improve operations. Now, Alphabet CEO Sundar Pichai says, quote, "We're excited to see how McDonald's will use our generative AI cloud and our edge computing tools to improve their iconic dining experience for their employees and their consumers all over the world," unquote. So it'll be interesting to see we do live in an age of data is king, how much will affect their sales, how much will be able to possibly increase it. And then, do you think this might saturate the market? You've seen this with a lot of retail locations, both restaurant as well as stores, where they grow so much, but they saturate sales because the stores are close together. Perhaps the most infamous example being GameStop, where you have GameStop like within 2 miles of another GameStop. It was ridiculous how many locations they had at their peak, and it became counterproductive because they were just cannibalizing sales, and it really wasn't helping the company grow too much. It was actually hurting the company, making each individual store less profitable. Now, granted, that being said, it'll be interesting to see if McDonald's has that same issue, but as I always say, time shall tell. Thank you everyone again for taking the time to tune in today. Don't forget to take time to subscribe. We're trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of December. Also, leaving a comment is a great way to give me some feedback. Let me know how I can make the show better and better, improve the quality. Also, lastly, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe and fight the good fight.